published 1420 est, the 25th of November 2017, updated 1626 est, the 25th of November 2017. It became the duel of the one who got away against the one who chose to stay. Liverpool and Chelsea contested the points at Anfield, but it was hard to turn the eye away from the two outstanding performers in Mohamed Salah and Eden Hazard. Hazard, the one who stayed, dominated the first half, bewitching Liverpool. Salah, sent off on loan by Jose Mourinho when Chelsea signed him and then sold by the club in 2016, had his moment in the second half, adding to his burgeoning reputation. He looked to have won Liverpool the game with his calm 65th-minute strike, which was the zenith of another superb display. By then, Chelsea, fizzing with ideas early on, were showing the effects of their midweek trip to Azerbaijan and wilting. Only on the 86th minute did Willian, who had been on the pitch for just 3 minutes, rescue them. Cutting inside, he lifted what looked to be a cross goalwards. Willian pulls Chelsea back into the tie with an audacious long-range effort which lobs goalkeeper Simon Mignolet. Mignolet is left helpless as he arches through the air in vain as Willian's effort heads towards the top corner. Antonio Conte punches the air and lets out a roar of celebration after his side pulled a goal back at Anfield. Liverpool's Mohamed Salah keeps his composure to evade the Chelsea defence and slot home the opening goal of the game. Cesar Azpilicueta tries in vain to slide in and tackle Salah as the Egyptian fires his effort into the bottom corner. The man of the moment refused to celebrate against his former team after putting Liverpool ahead at Anfield. Adam Lallana enters the game late on to replace Philippe Coutinho and make his first appearance of the season. It looped high and closer to goal than he intended. In doing so, it caught out Simon Mignolet, the arc of the ball out of his reach as it dipped under the crossbar and into the net. There may have been an element of fortune, but you could argue Chelsea earned the luck. Excellent in the first half, they played a part in an absorbing encounter which entertained throughout. Both teams had delightful moments. Both demonstrated the weaknesses which will probably leave them short of a league title this season. But neither should be discouraged by the point, even though Liverpool will feel an important victory was wrested away from them. Antonio Conte fielded as solid a midfielders as possible in Danny Drinkwater, N'Golo Kante and Tiémoué Bakayoko, a veritable brick wall for Liverpool to break down. It seemed the midweek jaunt to Azerbaijan meant they had come here first and foremost to be difficult to beat. However, because of one man's dominance, it didn't turn out that way in the first half. Eden Hazard has been unplayable of late, but West Brom and Qarabag aren't necessarily the biggest test of a great player. Even with Liverpool's fabled defensive generosity, this should have been a step up and somewhat more formidable. Hazard seemed not to notice. In the opening exchanges he consistently befuddled James Milner and Jordan Henderson. Deft touches would leave the Englishmen looking foolish, which they aren't. Hazard is simply too good for most players when in this mood. Thibaut Courtois looks on after fumbling Daniel Sturridge's crossed attempt and stubbing the ball behind for a corner. Sturridge challenges Marcos Alonso in the air as Liverpool look to turn on the pressure in the second half. Jordan Henderson sports the rainbow-coloured captain's armband in support of the Stonewall Initiative for LGBT inclusion. Former Chelsea man Salah curls an effort on target in the first half as Andreas Christensen tries to intercept. Salah smiles in frustration after seeing his attempt on goal go narrowly wide of the target. A tense clop on from his technical area as both teams exchanged blows in the first half at Anfield. Alberto Moreno launches himself through the air in attempt to win the header. Despite being one of the smallest on the pitch because of him, Chelsea gained the upper hand. He was ably supported by the extraordinary anticipation and athleticism of Kante and the tireless running of Alvaro Morata. But there was no doubt who was centre stage. His dribbling left Liverpool bewildered on several occasions in the opening 15 minutes. Individual moments stood out, like when, with a simple roll of the shoulders and swift switch of his centre of gravity, he just eased away from Henderson in the 10th minute before embarking on a dribble which took him past 4 players. Or the moment on 18 minutes when Drinkwater dropped the lofted ball, which is his trademark pass, into his path. Hazard saw it coming over his shoulder and simply brought it down dead with his foot as though he were using the palm of his hand. Cutting inside he fired away a shot which had Mignolet diving to his right to save. Another dart and dribble on 23 minutes saw him play in Drinkwater, and on this occasion Mignolet had to rush from his line to smother the chance. Hazard then played the pass on 24 minutes, which provided the shooting chance for David Zappacosta, which Mignolet parried away. And on 32 minutes Marcos Alonso's free kick from 25 yards was just wide of Mignolet's post. Liverpool slowly got the measure of Chelsea and began to impose themselves, but did wasn't until the 41st minute that they created a moment of genuine danger. Inevitably it was Mohamed Salah, the man not good enough for Jose Mourinho at Chelsea but now in his own rich vein of form, who slithered away, turned inside and unleashed a shot just wide of the Thibaut Courtois post. James Milner tracks back into his own half to muscle in on Hazard and thwart the Belgians' run at goal. The mercurial playmaker is seized upon by Henderson, and Coutinho's Liverpool looked to mark him out of the game. Antonio Conte raged from the touchline and was as animated as ever while shouting commands to his players. Conte grabs the attention of Hazard after the winger wins a Chelsea throw-in at the byline. Oxlade-Chamberlain skips past N'Golo Kante on a rare start in the red shirt of Liverpool at Anfield. Mourinho is clattered by Danny Drinkwater after the Chelsea midfielder mistimes his attempt to win the ball. Perhaps it was no coincidence then that within 2 minutes of the restart Hazard had taken a heavy blow from Salah. He was up and about, if limping, quick enough to be darting into the box on 47 minutes, hanging out a foot to allow it to become entangled with Milner's. He stumbled, but Michael Oliver wave-played on, and if it was a foul, it was just outside the box. Liverpool responded on 50 minutes when Daniel Sturridge turned and hit an innocuous shot across goal, which Courtois uncharacteristically fumbled, providing Liverpool with a corner and some hope. Jordan Henderson then had an ambitious strike from 25 yards on 55 minutes, which Courtois gathered comfortably. Liverpool, though, had regained the momentum. Sturridge's cross on 57 minutes struck Gary Cahill's arm in the box, but the Chelsea defender had barely moved his limb from his side, and despite roars from the cop referee, Oliver was unmoved. Mignolet looks to command his back line by feeding information to his defenders while the ball is in play. Mourinho collects the ball and releases a quick pass under the pressure of the incoming Kante. Liverpool fans proudly hold aloft shirts in the crowd, paying tribute to club legends Steven Gerrard and Jamie Carragher. Coutinho jumps on the shoulders of the talisman while assist provider Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain joins the party. Salah holds his hands up after scoring his 10th Premier League goal of the season, while behind him Chelsea looked dejected. The threat was always lurking, though. A glimmer of space on the hours saw Hazard release Zappacosta, whose cross was tantalizingly just short of Morata. 2 minutes later he found the Spaniard from a similar position, but Morata couldn't adjust his body shape quick enough and the ball rebounded off his thigh for a goal kick. However, by now Chelsea were beginning to show signs of weariness. The energy of the first half was draining away and Liverpool were growing into the stride. As if awakened by Hazard, Philippe Coutinho grasped the ball on 65 minutes and headed goalwards. Chelsea, who until this moment had been so solid with Cesar Azpilicueta and Andreas Christensen excellent, took a step back in fear. Coutinho slipped the ball into the box and Bakayoko made the fatal error, miscontrolling and allowing Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to get the merest of touches to deliver it into the path of Salah. 8 yards out, a pointer proven in outstanding form, the Egyptian looked perfectly poised as he struck past Courtois. He declined to celebrate ecstatically, but neither his teammates nor the cop were not as restrained. Goals against Chelsea are occasions for rapture in these parts. Jurgen Klopp punches the air in celebration as the stands erupt with joy. Meanwhile Conte cuts a forlorn figure. Klopp's delight soon turned to disappointment, though, with second-half substitute Willian scoring with a fortunate goal. The Brazilian playmaker celebrates with Spanish defender Alonso after seeing his cross hit the back of the net on Saturday. Brazilian opponents Roberto Firmino and David Luiz greet each other in the warm-up before taking their places on the bench. The stage was set as Anfield as dark wintry skies loomed over the brightly floodlit turf in the hours prior to kick-off.